Hello, this is Michelle Bentham, and I am live on Facebook and Twitter for the very first time with VineLife Ministries. And so I'm getting things adjusted a little bit. I'm waiting for you guys to hop online and let me know that you're tuning in today. And I'm just feeling like God is about to do something in all of our lives. On Sunday, Yvonne sent me a text message. Oh, it was Saturday, really. And Yvonne sent me a text message, and she said, hey, do you have anything the Lord's putting on your heart to talk about on a word from the vine? And I was like, well, yeah, actually I do. I was going to text you about it yesterday, but thought better of it. And now this is just affirmation that I was supposed to talk to you about it. And so I'm on today opening up, introducing a word from the vine this week. And the series, we're calling it Give Us This Day. It's all about discovering what it means to steward what God has given you well for today. And it's all about trusting Him. And so here we are. I'll try to keep up with your interactions if you have comments or questions. Hi, Jennifer. I see that you've hopped online with us, and I'm so glad that you're tuning in. And I just want you to know how excited we are to be able to bring what we're doing to you this way. And so today, I just want to pray before we get started while other people join us online. Father God, I just ask you that everyone within the sound of my voice would receive what you have for them today. I ask that your will would be accomplished in what we're doing and what we're saying today and in our interactions with each other. And I pray that you would bind anything that's from the enemy and that you would silence him during this time. So today I just want to start with telling you a little bit of the backstory, a little bit of what God has done to bring me to this place where I'm bringing this message to you today. In the last year, the word for this year has really been peace for me, peace and rest. And so I've had to learn how to rest in who God is and trust Him completely when my circumstances don't necessarily dictate that's what I should be doing. And so some days it's very difficult for me to just rest in who God is. And other days it's completely easy for me to just put everything aside and focus on who God is. And so I've been working this out kind of in this tandem struggle with God, figuring out what it looks like to live from that place of rest and experience His peace in my life. And so it all kind of came to a head this past summer when I heard the Lord in my heart, what I believed was the Lord say to me, to invite my husband to go with me to a ministry school in California. And just kind of a side note of that is since 2013, my husband and I have been working through bankruptcy and working through what that looks like. We had some devastating things happen in 2013. We lost our house, and we needed to right our ship financially, so to speak. And through that, we've begun to realize that we weren't really serving God with our finances. We weren't really serving God, and we weren't on the same page in that area. And so it's always been a struggle. We've always worked to make a budget and had trouble keeping it. We've lived paycheck to paycheck for most of our 18 years together, and it's just been a challenge. And so I'm hearing God tell me to invite my husband to go to a ministry school in California. Well, the total price of the trip is going to be about $3,000, and I know we don't have it. He suggested to me that I sell my artwork, which I committed to. My husband ended up agreeing to go. And by the time we left for the trip, we had the full amount of money that had either been given to us or I'd earned by selling my artwork for us to go out to California on this trip. And it was just an amazing time of God showing us who He is. But right before we left, we got this notice from our lawyer about our bankruptcy saying that they were going to up our payment like several $1,000s. And I was just like, this is not going to work. Like, that's more than 2/3 of our income. It's not going to work. And so I really kind of was stressing out about it. And then God began to speak to my heart, and He used to say to me, He used it to say to me, I want you to rest in me in this and just trust me. Well, what ended up happening came kind of as a total surprise. Like I said, we had lost our house back in 2013 through foreclosure as we went through the bankruptcy. But what we didn't realize was that even though the court had approved the claims that the mortgage company had made in our bankruptcy, that we needed to amend the claim once the foreclosure was finished, and it didn't happen. So through this process of the trustee wanting to raise our payment because our income has gone up, we found out that we were going to get the amount of debt that we owed greatly reduced because the mortgage company had sold our house and recovered what we owed them. And so we also found out we were going to get to pay all of our creditors off. And you may think, well, you are in bankruptcy. Isn't the goal not to pay them all off? And that's not true. That if they determine you can't afford to, they'll let you not pay them all off. But the truth is my desire was to pay off all of our creditors. And so now we are in the process of doing that. And our payment has gone up, but God is so good. He's providing everything we need. So as I sat down to adjust our budget to start to plan for this change that's coming in January, God said, I want you to just steward well what I give you today. Just steward well what I give you today. And I began to process what that means. As I said the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. What does it mean just to steward well and trust God with what I have today and let Him worry after what's going on in the future? It doesn't mean I don't need a budget. It doesn't mean I don't need a plan. It just means that I trust God with everything and I follow Him and I'm obedient to what He calls me to. And today, He's calling me to steward well what I have today. So this is going to be the theme that we're talking about throughout the rest of the week. And I just want to encourage you. What is God asking you to do through this message? This is what I want you to be listening for. What is He encouraging you to do? Go ahead and read the Lord's Prayer in Matthew chapter 9, and I believe it's Luke 11. And come back prepared tomorrow to dig into Scripture, to discover what God's saying to you about what it means to live from a place of trusting Him and stewarding what He gives you today well. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, you can check us out on Twitter at VineLife Yvonne or on Facebook at Yvonne Smith Ministries. Our website's vinelifeministry.org. We're so grateful that you're tuning in. And remember, as Yvonne always says, let's stay connected to each other and to the vine. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.